Hello there, it's Paul here and welcome everyone. Last video I mentioned that I bought some pen kits from a different website. The reason for this was that I've always wanted to do some of these novelty ones like a bolt action pen. It's from a website called PenKitzAndBitz. Now I've never used this supplier before, so go into the website. It's a different layout to all the other websites I've used, but I've got to say it's really clear. The site itself is really easy to navigate. There's only one really weird thing that I've found is that when you want instructions for any of the kits whatsoever, you actually have to add them into your cart, check out, even if it's zero value, and you'll get a link sent to you in an email for where you can download the instructions. The one real good thing about this website is that if you're in the UK, all postage charges are free of charge. I bought two kits. This is everything I bought. The blanks I've just turned. This is the bolt action kit, which, to be honest, both of these kits I bought in gunmetal. I really do like gunmetal kits. And you've got a sniper rifle as the actual pen clip on there. A nice action on here. And I've got to say, both of these kits feel really solid. Just as good as anything I've found. Finishing touches on here, like I say, is the rifle on the end there. You've got like a copper piece on the end there, a bit like the end, probably like on a bullet. And the nib end, which I've already disassembled here, just so you can see there, is like a bullet as well. Now this particular kit, when you assemble it, it does say in the instructions, make sure you've got this on when you assemble it, otherwise you could mess it up. And I'm guessing for that, it's because you've got the threaded ends on the end here, and that looks like brass. That's why you want to keep that final nib on when you put that part in. So I'll just put that back on. The second one I bought was the gear shift one. You've got, looks like a 5-speed gearbox on the gear stick there with the reverse on there if you look really closely. And I'm guessing that when you use this, you're only ever going to probably use it possibly at the very bottom there or at the top to close. I wouldn't have thought the middle ones come in, so they're just more of a novelty thing. The clip on this is a very basic one. You've got 2 screws on there, which I quite like actually. It looks a bit more mechanical. The nib end, which I have already removed, again, the instructions do say actually remove this one, again because you've got a solid base on there. Actually quite a nice finish on there. Not really sure what the markings are around here, whether it's some form of like a tyre tread or something like that. Both of these take the Parker style refills. For the bolt action pen, the bushings are actually the same size both ends. Now the really weird thing about the gear stick one is that I've not really come across this before, is that the nib end is actually slightly thicker than the top end. Usually it's the other way round, but we're not talking much. We're talking about 0.2mm difference in the end there. So I have actually marked up my tube inside with a line just so that I know which way round it is for when I assemble it. The other unusual thing I found about this as well is these length of springs. These are actually quite big springs on there. And I've never really come across that on this sort of style of pen. Both of these take a 3/8 drill bit, which is why I bought this one. It's a brad point drill bit, and as it turns out, when you look at it closely, the markings on this is a 9.5mm drill bit, so you might not need to buy this. Blanks, as you can see, I've already turned those. These are Umbelo wood. Sanded them through to 600, and I've used the, just so that you're aware, the melamine chestnut lacquer on them. Gave them several coats. Today, when I've come out in the shed, I've just buffed these up with the Yorkshire Grip Microfine. So I'm going to assemble these now so that we can actually see what these are all finally like. There it goes. And just take the nib off. Now this is the other thing why I chose these particular ones as well. I personally prefer the Parker style refills or a roller ball pen. If you're looking at ordinary like ballpoint pens, I don't like the slimline pens, and that's not really so much there's an issue with them, it's just that these are more readily available as refills. The action on there is really nice. So the second one, make sure you've got this the right way round. Place the pen refill in, just make sure it goes all the way down, screw the end on. The gear stick in the middle does nothing, gear stick on the end, you've got the pen out. That's another nice pen. So just hopefully you can see there as a close up what both the pens look like. Both of these nice, quick and easy assembly. That longer spring, I think, increases the strength of the springiness in there, so it makes for a lot better action on these. Might just be a choice of wood. I'm still not sure how well the sort of like the copper end here goes with my choice of wood. Gear shift one, it's a little bit more fiddlier than switching this one on, but again, it's just something you get used to. And there's a really nice spring action in there. I think when you get to do it with one thumb like that, which considering I've still got an injured thumb on there, you get used to it and it locks in nicely. So for quality wise, I've got to say these are excellent. Really are good. I buy a lot of my pens from Taylor's Murfield in the past, and I will say that I will probably try some of these other pen kits as well on there. If they are as good as this for quality of build, I can really say I highly recommend them. So for cost wise, both of these kits were £8.51. As I said, they're not cheap, but they're not up there with the real premium prices. So they're quite a reasonable price kit. Now the bushings were just under £5 and the drill bit was just under £5 as well. So I've spent to make these pen kits, the two kits, 2 sets of bushings and the drill bit, £31.10. Free delivery on any purchase that you do on their website. So if you're just after a drill bit, bushings, replacement tubes, or an actual pen kit on its own, free of charge for delivery in the UK. So hopefully that's been of use to you. I really like these. My biggest problem now is that usually the first type of pens that I make of a new type, I often keep the very first one, and I'm getting quite a collection on my desk at work. Thanks a lot for watching.